Okay, episode season 3, episode 30, DJ's Corner podcast is Bangarang
and Ian. What up?
So let's get right to it. I got a very special homie of mine here, Randy Reyes, VP of promotions at Atlantic Records. How you doing, bro?
Thanks for the upgrade, man. But I'm actually director of rhythm.
Thanks for the upgrade.
I don't know why I thought promotions. I'm sorry.
But that's the career goal, though, man. You know, VP.
Oh well, shit. That's what I tagged on Facebook. So we go. Well, I mean, shit. Let's just hop right into it, man. You've been in the game for a while.
Man, I mean, since I graduated, or 10 days before I graduated college, man, back in 04, bro. You know, but I'm Asian, man. I aged pretty well, bro. You see this?
Baby face, bro. Baby face over here, man. Like yeah. So how do you, with everything happening right now, how can you compare like what's happening now to like 2008? You know
what, man? Back in 2008, I was just getting into promotions, man. I had moved over from publishing into promotion is really like one of the 4 important departments at a label. You know, there's marketing, promotion, A&R, and publicity. Those are the 4 most coveted jobs in the music industry. But I was there for a minute, paid my dues, worked as an assistant, and coming into a national Mixshow role, that definitely helped me grow. But back in 08, Spotify and all that wasn't really that popular yet, and we had that depression, when all that real estate stuff and the banks got bailed out. I mean, we were in a really just an okay place, man. Online downloads were making up for physical CD sales, and the erosion of Napster and all that. So we were okay, but I don't think I progressed as fast as I wanted because there wasn't any jobs available. A lot of labels were shrinking or merging together, consolidating staffs, and you were lucky to hang on. And then come 2012, 13, 14, that's when the label started expanding again, and I had found a job because I stuck with it and paid my dues, man.
So were you an A&R? Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you did.
Well, I A&R'd remixes. I've given shots to a few of the mixers out there. Like I helped remix or put remix packages together for like Britney Spears, Usher, people, Pink, some of our lesser known artists when I was at RCA Jive, and I worked with like Q, Seraphine back then when Crooklyn Clan and all those remixers was working. Wow, those guys. Joe Maz, he got his first official. So a lot of these guys, I gave them shots, man. I DJ'd a whole lot in the clubs, and these edits were what was working. Back then they used to focus on remixes on the Billboard club charts, which was really circuit driven or gay leaning, that sound. So yeah, I think when LMFAO and that electro kind of sound kind of came, things changed a lot, and then it changed some more when EDM really came.
So for our people listening who might not know, you want to just take it back and kind of explain what your current job is and and go into a little more like that promotion side of a record label. You said that's like one of the 4 main sections. You want to just talk a little bit more about what you do?
I'm in radio promotion. I deal with U.S. radio, and the format I deal with is rhythmic radio. Radio is very and it's about what is that? It's all about their audience, right? Like I'm at Bangarang because he works at a rhythmic station, but rhythmic takes the best of top 40 radio and the best of urban radio, and that's what it plays. The pioneers of rhythmic radio are like a Power 106, a KMEL, a Hot 97, K-Day back in LA. Like these stations really played hip hop music, which urban programmers back then just used to play R&B. So this was the sound of the youth, and yeah, rhythmic radio wasn't afraid, and they broke hip hop music where urban music was playing just R&B and pop radio was playing, white music um, that was geared toward that audience. So I work in rhythmic radio. I do mix shows. I talk to DJs all across the country, get them to play records. So people are really confused on what I do. I'm a record promoter, but you could use that example as a lobbyist. I lobby for our records.
That's a good way to put it.
That's a
Yeah,
damn good way to put it, huh?
Yeah.
man. Shout out to Sunny D, man. He put me onto that wording right there. But yeah,
Nice.
like as with any industry, we lobby for our particular goods that we're slanging. If you're slanging music, we're lobbying for that, for our artists, for our records. If you're lobbying in pharmaceutical sales, you're lobbying for a particular drug. If you're lobbying in Washington, you're lobbying for this law or whoever, whatever group you're a part of. So works the same way, honestly.
Nice.
Dope. So with Atlantic, were they so obviously Atlantic is like a major company. Did you start off with them, or were you with someone else by like a smaller company and y'all got swallowed up by Atlantic when that happened and like when mergers started to happening?
Actually, I started at Sony Music. I was doing copyright, and then from there I did 3 years as a copyright analyst, and that's the back end of the industry, bro. Like publishing, songwriting,
Mm-hmm.
like that's. I mean, the music industry is what it is, man. It makes money off music and all its functions, but yeah, copyright, that's the back end. But really important, it's how people become millionaires or really get paid if you have your copyright and songwriting, producer credits, and all that stuff really sewed up.
Right.
But I did 3 years there, moved over to Jive, and at Jive, I was at the urban department for a year. So I transitioned into rhythmic top 40 promotions after a year, and I was there for another six years or so, and then we merged with RCA, which was it was Sony BMG, and then yeah, when that happened, they merged Jive and RCA together, and we were left standing. And then 2013, I got the call from Atlantic that they were looking for a national mix show portion and national mix show person, and I moved over there.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. So, okay. So obviously you've been in the game and we were talking about this a little bit before the episode started. Let's talk about streaming and how the industry has evolved from, radio. I mean, obviously radio is still important, right? But
Yeah.
how it's like transition, how streaming has made an impact.
Well, think about this, man. Back when I started in '04, streaming wasn't there. It was downloads and radio. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
People discovered music through radio.
Mm-hmm.
That's what made radio really important. Now, fast forward 15 years later, it's streaming is the what what most people consume their music from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, aside from YouTube and the TV and whatnot, but music discovery is streaming. You're hopping on, Tidal, Spotify, Apple Music, and
Mm-hmm.
and also a complement to that is social media, TikTok and Instagram. You're discovering a whole lot of new music through these platforms, and then comes radio. So it's more like a tripod. You kind of need all three components to be successful and to saturate the market. Where radio, you'd say kids discover music through TikTok and YouTube and IG. Then they turn that discovery back into their playlists on Spotify and their streaming services, and then they listen to it in their platforms. And I feel like older people are listening to it, like soccer moms or rock dads and people driving around. We're really the ones listening to radio because we have access to a car, and we're we're consuming music that way. And plus it's another step or two to connect your iPad or iPod to the car stereo, where with a car stereo you just get in and go and listen to your favorite station. But
You just hit that button.
yeah, but with the streaming point, streaming, we generate, I'd say 90% plus of our revenue off streaming. So when I say the music industry is pretty healthy, labels I'd say are pretty healthy in that sense. We're distributing this music, we're still supporting it. I know for Warner Music Group, nobody's getting furloughed or let go or taking budget cuts because
Good.
we're reasonably healthy. Thank
That's
God,
good. Yeah, that's really good to hear.
Yeah, a whole lot of other industries are getting furloughed or being forced to not come to the office, but we adapted pretty well and we're able to work from home. And our radio partners are getting furloughed or let go. We feel incredibly sad and we're trying to adapt, but we're fortunate that we're on this side and we're still able to as long as artists keep giving us mixtapes and albums and singles, we have content to push.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So on that note, I guess like how has your, I don't know if maybe it hasn't changed that much, but how has your like day-to-day job changed since all this started, and like what changes have you had to make personally to kind of adapt to everything going on right now?
Well, working from home is such a challenge, especially with two little kids. One of my kids might come down here and just say hello in a few minutes. Sometimes there's no boundaries. But you know, uh, a lot more conference calls. Doing this, we usually just did this on FaceTime. If you were really close with a person or want to see somebody, would do this or go on a road. And it's easy to travel back then and close an ad or get what you needed out of people and build relationships. But now you have to rely on this. We got to hop on a Zoom call. I got to stalk you online, see what you're doing if you're online, see what you're doing, so I can connect with you if we don't have that relationship. But yeah, it's incredibly hard for us because our department, generally radio promo, we travel a whole lot. A week or two out of the month, we're out there grinding and covering covering tours, covering promo tours. Just visiting other markets, making sure everything is good.
Right. So
So,
you'd essentially like if a tour is coming through Salt Lake, you'd like travel along with the tour and meet up with people like Bangarang and kind
yeah.
of
So
coordinate some.
yeah, last time I was out there, I had a YBN Corday, and we took him to radio. Had some listeners in. We did a meet and greet and live interview on air. And took the programmers to the show and get to meet them and hang out backstage and whatnot. So that's part of the gig too. And we do that for every market that we have a rhythmic station or station that we're working for. Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
That's dope, man.
Yeah, it's a legit job
Wow.
traveling around. Where
Yeah.
are you based at? Where do you live, by the way?
No, I'm out here in Brooklyn, man, in Bushwick. Tons of hipsters here. I know it's a hot spot. Thank you for everybody for making sure I'm safe, but I'm safe in my apartment. I'm not venturing out there crazy, but
Mhm.
yeah, I got a hospital down the street, man. There was like 2, 3 freezer trucks just chilling, just piling up bodies, man.
Wow.
That's crazy.
So, yeah, like about four people I know have passed away from this disease, and I know a few people, a few DJs, and coworkers who've got it, but have kind of passed it and are good, thank God.
Damn, that's crazy. I still out here. I still haven't even personally known anyone who has gotten it and died from it. But New
Yeah,
York's
man.
a whole nother crazy situation for sure.
Yeah, we've been going out. We went out to a park last week. Like, you just gotta go stir crazy if you're home.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I'm picking back up DJing. I hung it up for a little while, and it's just really a release for me now, man. Just being able to go on Facebook Live and get all my friends together and play out for them. That's fun, man. It's a social aspect to it. I'm learning how to be a better digital marketer. Learning how to use the Zoom platform, IG lives, and all this cool stuff, man. Like, we really got to pivot and reinvent ourselves, honestly, to adapt to this pandemic, because a lot of things are not going to be the same when we come back. When things are normal.
I
For sure, for sure.
agree.
Yeah.
And to your point, do you believe that live streaming DJ sets is the future? And I ask this because as a DJ, I mean as DJs, like all here, all three of us DJ, and we can't make money from Twitch, like we can't because that's not our music, and that's how you get sued, right? Like, so do you think, like, what's your opinions on live streaming?
Well, you know what? I know us as a label doesn't have a deal with Twitch right now, but I think you can make money off Twitch, man. I've
Okay.
seen people who've been able to make some money, not a ton, but I personally DJ'd and I've made like $300, and I've donated all of that to a friend of mine who makes face masks or face shields. But
Yeah.
those bits and those donations, that's how you make money off of it. Like I'm doing a fundraiser June 12th with a bunch of like the top Filipino DJs for Filipino Independence Day, and
Hell yeah.
3 hours of live streaming, and we got Bonix, Apple the app, and Upside, and a whole bunch of like notable Filipino DJs. Like I think So Super Sam is gonna jump on that, and
Hell yeah.
PJ from LA, and maybe, but we got a ton of DJs just hopping on it, and all the proceeds that we're gonna generate from that is gonna go onto your local nightlife industry. Like we could donate to them,
Oh, nice.
because body of nightlife is hurting right now.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Something I've noticed about just like Twitch community in general is people are really, really like comfortable and prone to make donations to whatever they're watching. Like on Twitch specifically, people are more like prone to do that,
Yeah,
donations and charity kind of.
bro. I've been watching some really good Twitch channels, man. Like Flipside. He taught me how to use it a little better. DJ Heavy out of Chicago as well. Watching DJ Shortcut and Vinrock, the triple threat DJs with their brand out of the Bay. Been really cool. Audio One, he's been really dope at doing this and setting up raids and sending viewers to other channels. So
Yeah, that's a super cool thing to do
yeah,
with
so
those.
so yeah, you can make money, man. But we're all just discovering this now, and there isn't a deal. Like when you look back at your Twitch Twitch video, there's portions which are red, which is supposed to copyright infringements. So
Okay.
I don't know how that works, but there, you do get paid off bits, and you do get paid off PayPal and Venmo if you're putting up your pay platforms over there.
Right.
Okay. So I want to switch gears a little bit. Earlier you mentioned that, like, yo, as long as artists are putting out content, or excuse me, well, yeah, providing you guys with content to put out, like, the labels are good. So what which artists on Atlantic have been killing it as far as like live streaming and or just being in the face of the people and something that people should be watching right now?
I mean, man, we're incredibly blessed to be working that Roddy Rich project, which is still the #1 album in the country.
Yeah.
So, you know, High Fashion is the next single that we're working, and the box has just been a monstrous record, man. Like, I believe 12 weeks, like been #1 or #2, at least top 5 and Billboard Hot 100, which really is the biggest of the biggest records.
Mm-hmm.
The box has been great for us. Jack Harlow,
He's next.
another artist, and he might not be making money touring and all that, but off streams he's just doing really well, man. Like 375 stream paid, on a paid platform, 375 streams equal one play, or one digital download, I'd say. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the like one it's 375 streams equal one paid download. So that's like the math of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. I'm gonna write that
Yeah,
down.
kind of varies. Like Tidal specifically pays out a much higher royalty rate than every other streaming outlet as well to
Yeah, I mean,
artists.
just think about a million, man. It might be from seven grand every million, or to like 2 3 grand, depending on the platform.
Right.
Yeah, but streaming is here, man, and it's still got ways to expand. Just think about it. when you're thinking about streaming, it's really just us in Europe, man, and then Asia and South America and Africa. Those countries still need to catch up. So
Are they still buying like actual albums, like actual CDs and stuff?
no, I think. I mean, when you think about Spotify, that's a European company, and then Apple Music is an American company. Those are
Yeah.
the biggest platforms, and of course, Deezer is another big company that's out in Europe.
Europe one,
So those are really concentrated, but I believe China has their own platform. So we're still trying to penetrate heavily in that area. But think about China. If you just grab China alone, man, those are billions of people.
yeah.
On
Seriously.
yeah. So and then think about Africa. I mean, most of those guys might not be able to afford a streaming service like this. So, yeah, we still got about 5-10 years of expansion, and we'll
Right.
saturate. I believe when I first started at Atlantic, man, our goal was to get to like 50 to 100 million paid subscribers, and we're there now. So we're incredibly healthy. You know?
Nice.
Yeah.
That's dope, man.
Yeah, and
That's real
I feel
dope.
like another thing with streaming too is like Wi-Fi access. There's still parts of the world that don't just have like high quality, like strong enough Wi-Fi everywhere you go,
Yeah.
enough
Yeah.
to like stream music everywhere you need to.
Well, you know what, man? I think 4G, technology played a lot of to the success of like mobile video. 4G
Right.
really revolutionized that. And now when 5G arrives, like everything is in our fingertips. 5G might actually be faster than in-home Wi-Fi. So, this Beatport link and having your music streamed right to your laptop when you're DJing might actually be a reality,
Yeah,
which
game
really
changer for sure.
there's still a lot of legal stuff to get through and licensing and all that to get done for
Right.
that to work. And actually us DJs to adopt this technology as well.
So I want to ask you about that. And how do you feel like? Because me that scares me. Like depending on it, like on like a Wi-Fi network or just depending on some type of network that has my music in like a cloud. Like what are your thoughts on that? Do you think that that really is the way DJs are just going to be able to just have a cloud and just boom, like play?
I mean, bro, it's really scary with that Dropbox integration. I feel like, if me and you were really homies and we wanted to share a library, yo, you just throw it up on Dropbox and like, yo, we have the same library, and labels or nobody else will really know what we have. So
Hmm.
if you don't find a way to legalize kind of record pools and get a if labels don't get a piece of this, then yeah, there's just going to be the technology companies that are going to profit off this and figure it out.
Okay. Oh man, that's wow.
Yeah, it's
I've
it's
never thought about that.
it's really crazy, man, when you think about it. Like, yo, there's a ton of record pools out there, but if per se, yeah, we just subscribe to this pool and you have access to this Dropbox, like, yo, that's all you need, man. And that's streaming through the cloud. Like, but first off, you're paying for um the link. Well, you're paying for Dropbox. That's $10 to $15 a month already. So
Hmm.
that's equivalent to a streaming service. Then you're paying for a record pool. That's probably another 20 to 30, $40. So all that stuff adds up, man.
Hmm.
Um, so on the label end, I definitely advocate for record pools, and I've been telling our legal guys like, yo, let's figure out a way to really license all these pools.
Yeah.
The DRM way, or let's just figure it out, because we've always been at odds. Like, I know record pools are super important for DJs to find music and all that, but
Yeah.
it's piracy at the end of the day too. So you balance usefulness and piracy. But when you're comparing record pools, which might have 1,000 to 15-20,000 subscribers, compared to an Apple Music or Spotify with millions of users,
Hmm.
it's really small. But it's still a niche that can be that can be addressed, instead of just working in a gray area.
Right. I'm curious how like maybe you can answer this, but like how with a record pool and a record label, how does like licensing for that work? Is it similar to like Spotify, like the label gets paid based on how many times that track is downloaded through the pool, or like how does that
So I
work?
mean, it's really interesting you say that because, when you think about all these streaming platforms like IG and Facebook, like you're streaming live on there, but nobody's getting paid. That's why you're getting
Right.
shut. Even Twitch, like, the DJs might get paid, but the rights holders of the music people are not getting paid. So that still has to be addressed, and I feel it's because of derivative works at the end of the day, like intros and outros of records,
Mhm.
all these mashups and bootlegs. These things aren't identified, and you can't identify the rights holders, and you can't get these rights holders properly paid. So there's a big impasse on that. Dubset felt like they had a solution, but I don't think that really came in fruition.
Right.
So yeah, we're still trying to figure that out, and I mean, it should be addressed sooner than later because yeah, nobody's making money off of that.
Right.
You know? Yeah,
No,
I
I
mean,
feel you.
why Facebook takes down stuff. Uh, that's why IG takes stuff down. Mixcloud. I believe there's a deal. So
Yeah, Mixcloud has something that you can't rewind or some shit like that, but
Yeah.
you can play like the original songs on a mix. You can't upload an album or something like that, but it's Mixcloud has worked that out.
Yeah. It
yeah,
So
seems like Mixcloud's the only platform that truly is like the place you can upload anything in your mix, and it's not going to cause a problem for
yeah.
you.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was a problem before where if you played like three songs by the same artist in a row, I think that was one of the big no-nos. But
Okay, that would
different
make
artists,
sense.
yeah.
now that makes a lot of sense, man. So all right, so right now we're in a really weird time just with everything going on, and obviously there's artists who are trying to pop right now. Like what do you, in your opinion, what should up and coming artists be doing during this pandemic to get noticed or to even you know what I'm saying, to yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Good question.
funny you ask, man. I was on a like an IG live interview with my boy Dramos, who does an IG thing, like a talk show during the
Yeah.
day, and we had some independent artists on there, and we were giving them feedback and whatnot. But man, it's really tough to be um. I mean, it's easy to make music.
Hmm.
So much garbage out there, man. Like I personally get music sent to me all the time, and I don't have the time to do it. Besides my job, my family, and all my other interests, what time do I have to listen to music? So,
I'm so glad you said that.
yeah,
Oh man.
I mean, if I listen to stuff based on recommendation, man. If I know you have great taste, and or if you're my boy and you vouch for this, yeah, I'll listen to it. If it sucks, I'm gonna tell you straight up, it sucks, man.
Yo, don't bring that shit in here no more.
But yeah, I mean, as with anything, like pre-quarantine or after or during quarantine, like the online community is so big and vibrant, man. With radio not being so prominent because everybody's really at home and really you listen to radio when you're driving, and we could see that with Shazams, bro, and new music, like what new music is really pushing through and popping right now. Like everything that's hot right now is it's like 2-3 months old already. Like maybe Run the Jewels was popping because it was off the Ozark soundtrack.
Hmm.
Maybe we had a Kamau record that came out of the Insecure soundtrack that was garnering some Shazams. So these placements on Netflix and these shows maybe are the ones that are really popular and new that are kind of raising their head. But in terms of staying power, I mean, you hear it from the show, but where else do you hear it unless you save it on your file?
That's actually
Yeah.
super interesting to bring up. That like discovery is happening more from like a street like show on Netflix. That's crazy because everyone's
I mean,
home doing
just
their thing.
bro, like we had Lizzo last year, one of the biggest artists to pop out of last year, and I worked Good as Hell 3 years ago, and it took Netflix to play that play that song during a key scene when she's in her underwear dancing around. You know, and the
Social media, bro.
yeah, I mean the pickup was immediate on that, man. The streams kept going up. I mean, we were working Juice, which was like a Chromeo sounding kind of record by Lizzo.
Mhm.
It's actually one of my favorite records off the new album. And we had to pivot and address Good as Hell because that was the record that was reacting, you know. And right now, you know, there's Melanie Martinez record that we're about to work. That's like 3-4 years old, I want to say, and that's off like a really old album, and it just became new again because of TikTok. So, you know, I
Yeah.
think I to answer your question, if you build a buzz on a new record or old record on social media, and the streams climb up, then it's something we got to pay attention to and you know put a gas on. You know,
Okay, so every local artist, any independent artist who's hitting people up to play their records, he just said it right there. You got to build your buzz online before it. Yeah. So,
but you know what?
yeah,
It's also important to note that you got to get your hometown to support you, man. You know, like
absolutely.
get the whole internet loving you, man. But if your hometown thinks you're corny, I mean, that's gonna fall apart. You know,
Mhm.
sooner or later.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You can't be a gimmick. Like people have to like people got to support you at your hometown first, but you also got to like build that shit online too. I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
Right.
definitely. I mean, you could look at Travis Scott too, man. I don't think Houston supported him from the go. I think it took the internet, but once they did, like the hometown embraced him. You know,
Mhm.
too. I mean, they didn't know she was from Houston, but after hearing her music and seeing her succeed, they embraced her. And you know, having your hometown really embrace you, um, post post success or before success is really important. You know,
Mhm.
For sure. For sure.
Absolutely,
So you
man.
mentioned Shazam. Like, obviously Shazam's a pretty important tool for labels and stuff, but like, how like I guess just like maybe talk about like how you use Shazam, how Atlantic Records uses Shazam, and like, is that a very important tool for just monitoring like
so
demographics and success?
I mean, Shazam is really tricky, man. It was really important before streaming.
Mm-hmm.
The stream wasn't really popping yet, and we use that for reaction. Um, you know, locally we could see stream ranks. We get those reports, and we have Shazam ranks. For say, you know, U92 and Utah is playing a record, probably like 30-40 times. It'll usually stream top 10, top 20 that market, and you take a even more a smaller market with no competition, like WZMX in Hartford. You know, that's the only outlet for hip hop, or a WJMH in Greensboro, college town, but that's the only outlet for hip hop. It's predominantly black. If you're playing a really hot like hip hop or street record, it's gonna stream top 5 in that market. But on the flip side of that, we could see that it's reactive, right? Like Mahalia, like we worked this Mahalia record, What You Did featuring Cameron with the
Loved it. Love that record, by the way.
and all the big radio stations played it, but at the end of the day it wasn't streaming past 2 million a week, which is really sad because it's really great music. Like, I mean, take Nipsey Hussle for example, legend, right? But nobody was streaming his music until after he died, so yeah. So to answer your question, Shazam is reactive. If we can get a record played in in good day parts, chances are we'll get that song Shazamming top 50 in that market. And if it's a hit, or we feel like it's a hit, it'll be top 10 in most markets.
Nice.
But I don't know if it correlates to streaming. That's something we still are trying to figure out. You know, maybe on the rhythm format, it's not correlating as much, but maybe
Mhm.
urban or the top 40 format, it raises streams or maintains streams. Because just think about audiences. Um, when you're streaming something, you kind of think it's kids and college kids, right? For the most part. And radio is the audience is older people who drive. I'd say 18 and up. So just think about just it's segregating those demographics.
Right. That's
For sure.
that's interesting
So
to hear your thoughts on that. Thank you for
so
saying that.
Shazam is really important, is what
Yeah,
you're saying.
it's great for discovery. I mean, how do you use Shazam personally? Because for me, if I'm walking at like a H&M or like a store that I like and they're playing music, yeah, I'll Shazam it. Or
Same.
So,
people use it as a bookmark. You know, after I Shazam it, I could go to my streaming service and save it to my playlist or my library, right?
Hmm.
Or say there's a mix. You're at a festival, you're Shazamming. If your hands are not in the air,
Yeah.
you know, you have your phone Shazamming the tracks, right? So
Yeah.
that's
that's a big one. I think like festivals and events. People definitely use it a lot for that as a
yeah.
bookmark, like you mentioned too.
Yeah,
Damn.
like you got to ingest all those tracks though, man. Like, in festivals, half of those tracks are not even ingested yet, or they're
Right.
mashups. Nobody knows what they are. So yeah, that's another thing. Like we were talking about, um, with streaming, uh, we don't know where all these records are yet unless they're cleared and licensed.
Hmm.
But
Mhm.
Shazam, it's great for discovery. We have the global Shazam ranks too that gets emailed to us. Like, the St. John record's been the number one Shazamming record in the world for the past, like, 6 to 8 weeks, and it's just sitting around in top 40 radio. What might be globally Shazamming might not be working in the US too. So some things to consider, and like, um, something might Shazam in a local market, but nationally it might not be at the same thing. But
Uh,
that's how radio can break an artist. If something's Shazamming and it's local, that might be another way to do it. You know?
Oh, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. I know there were a few records like the past couple of years. Like we were playing this Kim Vieira record, but it was
Yeah.
doing really well here in Salt Lake. Wasn't like working everywhere else, but in Salt Lake. And then there was another one we were just playing too. But like it works, and that's how music breaks. Like that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are like the two markets I mentioned, man, Greensboro and Hartford. Like you guys are
Yeah,
island, the only outlet for hip hop music for the most part. So you guys definitely have a chance to break something locally in your market, and your audience would embrace it. You know,
absolutely.
and to add, radio airplay correlates to how artists get paid in publishing. Like
It's,
when you think about the top five airplay songs, um and what you play in the club, your top five songs, they're not exactly the same, right? But ASCAP, BMI, and CSAC get paid off of airplay charts. So yeah, that's really crazy because we don't play all these radio hits. We might play remixes of it, but for the most part, we're still playing a lot of old records, man, because our audiences want something familiar out there.
So, you want to talk about publishing a little bit more? I'm super curious personally, like ASCAP, BMI, how they get paid, how um, I know venues pay fees to ASCAP and BMI, and radio pays royalties to ASCAP and BMI. But you want to just talk a little more about that?
Well, I'm not an expert on it. I'm just gathering from what I've been told by my mentor, my boy Jeff, who's part of this company called DJ Monitors, who they actually monitor what's played in like those festivals out in Europe. And my one friend was telling me, if you play one of your tracks in like a Glastonbury festival, that's like 400 um pounds per record that you're playing if your
Really,
pub is all set up and whatnot. So
that's
and
crazy.
they have these boxes, so it's like in Club Shazam, like you're running music that you're playing into this box that they have, and everything that you're playing is being recorded, and those rights are properly being sent. The money is being sent out to
That's
the.
that's insane. I had no idea. But
Yeah, I mean,
that's
in the
crazy.
US, man, like ask any of your bar owners and nightlife venues. Like they pay ASCAP, BMI, CSAC, um, according to what's on the number one, two, three, and the airplay charts, the radio airplay charts. So it's not really representative of what we're playing as DJs.
I would agree with
But
that.
so it's kind of biased in a way. It's almost like those those charting tracks are getting paid royalties from DJs who may not be playing those tracks in the club.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what makes radio really important still,
Right.
'cause airplay correlates to getting artists paid, or artists and songwriters getting paid.
That's man,
Yeah, I
I
mean,
did
it's the
not
music,
know that.
right? It's a intricate maze, man. If you could master one or two things, you'd be really successful.
Yeah, that's wild.
Huh.
That's wild.
Yeah,
Actually,
that's wild.
so
Yeah.
these boxes at festivals in Europe. Do you know of anywhere like? Is that in the U.S. at all? Like, do you know any clubs that have that or anything?
So my boy is actually Jeff. He's setting up those deals. But yeah, I mean, the U.S. is one of the biggest music market, so it's taken some time,
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he's close to getting these things done. But it with quarantine right now, I mean, how do you get all these bars and clubs outfitted with a box? And it's also adoption. Like think about Serato. How long did it take people to adopt Serato? It came out what 2000. I want to say
Three.
3,
Yeah, three
right?
or four. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I fully jumped on it maybe '05 version 1.4, like, and now we're at what version? I don't know what version we're at, man, but
2.1 point something point something.
see how long that took, man. People didn't want to give up vinyl. So my boy Jeff was one of the first employees for Serato, and how he got it done was providing boxes for the top tier DJs and providing boxes for some of these venues, man. And they adopted it, and it became a standard over virtual DJ and all the other vinyl scratch. Serato became the dominant force in vinyl emulation. You know?
So it's kind of like off topic, but can we talk about that? Like the evolution from like playing real records in the club to Serato. What was that? Because that was your era. So what was that like having to jumping from not carrying crates to jumping from carrying crates to not carrying crates at all.
I mean, I started DJing, I'd say in like 98, 99, and all through college, I DJ'd our frat parties and I DJ'd clubs in New York, and it sucked, man. Like I'd have to spend $200-300, take the train up to New York, spend my bag on records, and records were, 6.99 a record, and you
Shit.
usually have to play buy doubles of a record. Album would be like $12 to $20 depending on the album, and you'd have to
Shit,
lug
it's
all that
pricey.
back. So yeah, at one point I had 20,000 records, man. I acquired another person's library. I lived in a frat house. I had to move every year, bro. It sucked.
What fraternity were you in?
I was a Fiji, bro.
Okay.
I got,
Word.
but yeah, so it was fun, man. But uh DJs DJs got paid to ship their records when they had to DJ gigs. Like the top tier DJs got paid really well for DJing, but they had to bring all their records with them. It was easy to it was harder. It definitely cost a lot more to travel, and you needed your homies with you, man, to carry all your crates. I mean,
Yes.
somebody might try to steal your shit, or it's just a whole lot of shit to lug into the club in a small ass DJ booth.
Yeah, I might have to
Yeah.
like rent a moving van and move somewhere else. With shit.
So,
That's how you got
oh,
these into the club for free, man. You justified their cost.
Crate carriers.
hey
Yeah,
yo, that's awesome. So let's talk about because I have a bunch of radio promo records that were just handed down to me from like homies and stuff. How did that work? What was the process of sending out? Did you obviously you had to be on radio, but like that's expensive.
yeah. I mean, I
Like,
hey, man, I'd say the '80s, '90s, 2000s. Man, radio promo is incredibly important because you know we were the source of music. How else would you consume music? It's either radio, maybe internet if you were advanced enough. I was on AOL when I was in the late '90s, and
in the
I
chat
was
room.
downloading MP3s. I met my wife through AOL, man. I got,
Nice.
but yeah, I mean, um, man, uh, with with DJ, man. Shit, I forgot what we were talking about, bro.
Oh no.
Record promos.
Yeah, record promos and like
Yeah,
yeah,
you know, I had to jump on record pools first because it's as with any industry, man. It's all about relationships.
yeah,
Um, you got serviced records if you were the hot club DJ or if you were a hot radio DJ. That was how you got promos or if you made mixtapes. And everybody wanted to get on those lists because, man, you'd get, the test pressing sometimes or you get the promo only vinyl, which, had different cuts than the retail version, because you were a tastemaker. DJs really were important because um just think about it when we were kids, right? You'd hear a record on the radio, and where else would you hear it? There was no TikTok, there was no Instagram, there was probably AOL and Yahoo. There was Google wasn't around yet, so it was incredibly important to hear music and discover music from the radio. We know when a particular jock was on, like Funk Flex and DJ Enough here in New York, and even DJ Riddler at Z100. Like we knew when they were on and what kind of music they would play, and as us record promoters would jockey these guys to play these records. And once we heard it or heard it in the clubs, then the consumers would flock to it. Like, yo, what's that record? I want to buy it, and you'd buy a physical copy. Now that's neither here or there, man. There's no physical copy. There's the internet where I've made a track right now. Let me send it to you, and then we put it up on a blog. Everybody has it, right? So
hmm
yeah, man, it's the music landscape has definitely changed, man. And yeah, I mean, labels had a lot more control back then, and it was the only outlet to get music. But now, we could self-publish. Like me and you could be a rap group, bro. And
let's do it, bro.
yeah, you fit with that hair, bro. Yeah, maybe I need some of these tattoos, man.
get some get some face tag. Good lord, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. We had a listener question. Shout out to my homie Dre, one of the dopest homies. He actually has a podcast as well. Flight 89 podcast. It's dope. Check that out, guys. He asked, what's been the biggest challenge in your career?
I mean, you know what? For me, just there's two big challenges. It's I love what I do. I'm DJing was a passion of mine, man. I started DJing when I was 16, and to be able to, I'm an immigrant too, man. I was born in the Philippines, moved out here, and to be where I am at, I'm definitely very lucky.
Mhm.
Um, a ton of people want this job. It's definitely a little glamorous. It's fun traveling around with a corporate card and taking clients out to eat and living a pretty solid lifestyle, building relationships. Like I could have a menial job, man, throwing out garbage or physical labor.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that, but I get paid to talk records, bro. Like how lucky am I to work in the music industry? So getting here is definitely tough. And that's what I want to do my podcast about. I want to talk about music industry jobs because, like, for you yourself, man, you didn't know you wanted to be a podcaster or
Shit, dude.
like we have no clue what these jobs are, right? As
hmm
young individuals trying to figure out what we want to do in our lives. So I want to definitely help the youth out and give back, man, and educate people like yo, you could aspire to do these things, man. Like for me, man, I'm trying to teach somebody, but I feel like millennials are just not as hungry as I once was. I really want to pass down the torch and educate somebody. What's up, dude?
Anytime, bro.
Yeah, yeah,
Anytime, bro.
yo, but with these gigs, man, I we could kind of do it remotely, man, but it also takes you coming in here and one thing I've learned with this job, I can be great at building relationships, but you can't cheat time, man.
Mm-mm.
Like
You gotta
something
put in the work.
Sonny was just talking about. I'm able to talk about my experiences now because I've went through it. But trying to tell you what I did and you trying to figure it out and how to navigate that, you wouldn't really know unless you really experienced it or you really listened to me and implemented it. You know what I'm saying? Like I mean, I'm telling you, I look young as hell right now, man, or I've been looking younger since I lost weight. But think about all this time I fucked off, this year, this weight. But now I'm only focusing on it now. Like that's what time is, man. We really learn off these experiences, and when we look back, like, damn, I look better than I did back then, man, because I really, you know, um, paid attention to myself and took good advice instead of fucking off, till the end of time, till I died. So biggest challenge, trying to get this job, man. Just being really connected, networking, and right time, right place. Like I said, I worked through the depression, through the recession from 2008 to 2013. I was an assistant for way too long, and it was hard finding a job. So being given a shot, and people really gotta fuck with you, man, and vouch for you. So shout out to my boss who really helped promote me too, to my current position. He believed
Mhm.
in me, and I showed and proved. It really takes great mentorship, and it takes time to teach, man. And I mentioned I was in a frat. Like, it takes time to haze and shit on somebody, and it takes time to teach and give back. So yeah, it's an investment, teaching somebody. So shout out to all the mentors out there and all my mentors who helped me out along the way.
For sure. I mean, I could honestly shout you out as well because you've shown me a lot in this game, like a lot of like lessons and stuff I've learned. You know what I'm saying? Like just from our conversations and and interactions and shit. It's been really cool.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I mean, I'm really real, man. I'm usually no filter, bro. But I think people like me because I'm relatable. I'm
Yeah.
type A personality, like most radio promoters are, man. I really tend to be collaborative. Like, let's find a way to work together because there's so much money out there, man. There's so many opportunities. Like I said, I'm an immigrant, man. I hustled my way, and everything I've done, I've had to figure out how to do.
Hmm.
My parents are hardworking nurses. That's how most Filipinos get up here, man, because our moms are nurses. So shout out to our moms and nurse life.
That's what's up.
Yeah, man. Check your local hospital, man. I'd say
Respect to all the nurses.
Especially right now.
Yeah.
My goodness.
right now, man, for sure.
So what you're
Yeah.
Yo.
saying is work hard and put in the time.
Nah, I mean, everybody works hard, bro, but you gotta
That's true
really,
too.
man. Like, I told my boy, you gotta think smart too. Working hard just makes you a good worker. You know, um, Rich Dad Poor Dad, like, that book really helped me, man. Making money work for you, and you know, uh, learning the value of money. Like, we didn't come from money. My mom and dad left me when I was like 2 years old. My dad worked in Kuwait as an engineer, and my mom worked as a nurse. And moving up here, they just worked. They weren't entrepreneurs like me, jumping into real estate and all my other entrepreneurial ventures. That was me trying to learn it myself, and now I have two young girls, which comes to the second challenge. Like, balancing family life along with this industry life is so hard, man.
Hmm.
Like, I see some of my peers who are able to travel and do so much. But for me, it's like the grass is greener, yeah, but I really have a great life, man. I have a great family. I have a lot of things to show for it, and I still have a very successful career, which I'm very proud of. So work-life balance. I get shitted on by my wife all the time. I'm always on my phone. Fucking sucks. But
Same.
I mean, this shit is an addiction, man.
That's
I
how it
love this shit,
goes.
you know. Yeah, but I mean, if I didn't have kids, yeah, I'd go full. I'd probably travel everywhere, man. I'd be in a different state, DJing somewhere or just hanging out with homies. But it does get incredibly homey, man. I mean, lonely. Like, what do you work for at the end of the day?
Hmm.
Yeah,
A lot of long nights and stuff.
yeah,
For
yeah.
sure.
I mean, we have long nights now, man. But at least you have somebody to share that with our wonderful wives who kill us.
Hmm.
We love
Shit,
them.
bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, who who's been your favorite artist to work with? Like, 'cause I see the plaques back there. I see the Coldplay. I see the Dollar Sign. I see the Tiger. Who's been your favorite artist? Like to, you know, yeah.
I really liked working with Drum, man. He was funny as hell.
Yes.
he just smoked all the time. He was just a big kid, man. One person I really like working with was Wiz Khalifa, man, and I really didn't like his music, to begin with. But just the way he deals with you, man, you endear him. And I don't smoke weed heavy, but when I was hanging out with him, he'd pass me the blunt, and how could you say no to Wiz Khalifa?
You can't.
One time, man, I was in the studio recording drops or customs for DJs, and he's passing me the blunt, and then the CEO of my company walks in, Julie Greenwald. Shout out to her, man. One of the best, bosses to work with. And like, what do I do? Do I take a pull or do I give it back? And look like, but yo, it's the music industry, man. We're fucking smoking in the studio. That shit is normal, bro.
Like,
And I've done
oh man.
dollar sign too, man. When we were working on his Paranoid project, and that joint that he did with the weekend, like, yo, we were just smoking in the studio. But yeah, you still have a job. Like, that's part of the creative process. But the business side, man, you still got to be sharp at the end of the day, you know. Um, so yeah, Wiz Khalifa, really dope to work with. YBN Corday, like, working at a label. I don't have a choice of the projects I work. I pretty much
Mhm.
get everything that's a priority to us. But I'm fortunate that we're working really great music. I
Yeah.
could say that, Clean Bandit was a really great band that I worked for. Charlie XCX, when she was blowing up, was really fun to work with. Robin Schultz, who doesn't speak English well, and you need a translator when you do interviews, was really fun to work with. You know, um, Icona Pop, when they were putting out records, it was fun. Going to Miami and introducing them to DJs and whatnot. Um, uh, yeah, I said Corday. Don Tolliver, going to the radio with them, and just picking their brain, man, and getting to know these people. Like, artists are just like people, man. I've worked with Chris Brown before, and Usher when I was at RCA. Like, they're people. You tend to super serve them so they can stay creative, but at the end of the day, they're just people as well. You got to treat them with respect and treat them as a person, not just as an object. And they reciprocate that back, man. They appreciate that you're working to help them succeed, to put food on their table and to get their art out there. you know
Oh, for
That's some
sure,
really
bro.
interesting insight for sure.
yeah,
Did you
man.
have anything, Ian?
Yeah, I was gonna ask, just because I know we have some people that were gonna listen to this episode today who are kind of like more on the commercial side of EDM, but like as far as radio and like records go, like what are some things that you've seen that make for a very successful like radio song
A
in the
radio
track itself,
Hey, hold on, guys. Hey, um so I mean, are you talking about EDM or just
Just like
any?
in like not specifically EDM, but just in general, like what are some elements of a song that you think make it really good, like make it successful on radio?
I mean, so with radio, I know it's tied to call out research. Basically, songs that have hooks that think about your audience at radio. It's female listeners. If these females, like, same thing in a club, if these female listeners are requesting your records or singing the hooks of your songs, that's what makes a successful record at radio. So if you have a really identifiable hook, like, take for example all these Drake songs, like, every girl could sing these songs in a club, in their bedroom, on the radio, because they're just really packaged really well, and the hooks are really prominent. Um, I mean, some of
Instagram captions.
yeah. I mean, look at these TikTok and SoundCloud rappers. Some of them don't even have hooks. So, like, even Lil Uzi Vert, as successful as he is, shout out to the #2 album streaming still. Crazy. Like, he outstreamed his last effort outstreamed Drake's album. You know, 675 million, where Drake was like 275 or something like that. You
Wow.
know, so um, yeah, some of these streaming records doesn't really necessarily translate to radio records. Like, even a Don Tolliver, which I worked recently. Um, and even like these radio records, like a Mahalia, like, it sounds great at radio, but it doesn't stream well because young kids really stream records, you know, and this is not a young kid sounding record. So I'd say it's what you're aiming for. If you're trying to do something more contemporary and massive, yeah, make it appeal to everybody. But for younger end records, I mean, yeah, you're gonna capture those guys at streaming platforms and social media. You know?
Right. Awesome.
Cool, bro. Well, just real quick, are there any artists up and coming that Atlantic is pushing that we need to know about?
I mean, I'm really excited about Don Tolliver, man. That
Me too.
record, you know, he's really dope. He comes from that Cactus Jack camp. You know, it's
Mm-hmm.
not really rapping. I think it's a combination of rapping and singing and ad libs. I love the fucking ad libs, man. Shit is
Yeah.
nice. It's lit. So Yeezy had some really great fucking ad libs, man, back in the day. But
Mhm.
you know, I'm excited about him. Uzi does really well for us too. What else? Kaylani, man. You know, R&B was coming back for a long time. I mean, she was she actually had LMA open for her on her tour, man, and then LMA just blew up with that Boot Up record. You know,
Mhm.
so yeah, I mean, Kaylani's been very consistent, so I'm excited to work her records. I actually have a Zed and Jasmine Thompson record that I'm working on the top 40 side, and that's coming out in like 2-3 weeks, which I'm really excited about. Sound it might sound a little dated, but I mean, think about it, man. Dance music comes back when there's fucking a depression or a recession, you know? Like in the 90s, in 2008 up to, you know, 2013, 14. That was like a recession era, you know? And then hip hop. So I think it's time, man. I think we're gonna hit a fucking recession, man, and dance music's gonna come
Yeah.
back. And yeah, I mean, personally, I'm kind of tired of all the hip hop sounding the same, man. You know, when you think about it, like back in the '90s, alternative music was the emo music. Now it's emo rap. You know, all the alternative bands became fucking rappers, bro.
Yeah, seriously, man. People need
Yeah,
something to be emo about.
man. I mean, like back in the '90s and 2000s, man, you had to be hard when you were a rapper. Now you could be soft and it's okay, man. You know,
That's true.
all
That's true.
good. Music changes.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
But nah, man. Did you have anything else, Ian, that you wanted to talk about, or?
No, man. Thank you. Thanks for chatting with us. This has been awesome.
Yeah, this is fun, man. I mean, bro, I'm really glad we're doing this podcasting thing too, man. You know, that's something I want to jump on for myself. Like, I don't think I'm gonna be DJing that heavy out there, but I still love it, man. It really, you know, you kind of grow old. Like, you don't want to be the 40, 50-year-old guy in the club, you know, still doing it. But
Mm-hmm.
I really do want to talk about the future of DJing, man, because it's kind of scary, you know, like the next 6 months to a year where social distancing, you know, tours are not going to be around. You know, just listen to your EDM Identity podcast or
Right.
yeah, these festivals, like those things are going to change, man, and DJs are going to be really affected. Like, just think
Mm-hmm.
about your gigs, man. Are you going to be DJing at your local spot, you know, with half the people that's allowed there now, or going or DJing for a sports event where you have to social distance and all that, you know?
I doubt it, bro. Like realistically, like it's funny you say that because I was listening to our talk radio station, ESPN 700, and they were saying how like there's so much. They're gonna play sports next, like in the fall. They have to because there's so much money tied up for universities. They have to. But with that being said, there probably won't be fans, and if there's no fans, there's no need for entertainment. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like it's the magnitude of everything that's happening right now. Like people just don't understand it. And when you say that there's going to be a recession, like I believe it because there's a lot of people who are so naive about what we all do, like the many different aspects of what we all do. And there's a lot of people in this industry who are just screwed now. So
Yeah. I
It's
mean,
yeah.
true.
think about all these creatives too, man. Like, think of New York, you know, there's no music videos, there's no photography, there's no creative jobs, and it's going to be hard to get all these creative jobs back. So no, it's really scary in New York, man. I have tenants, and some of them haven't been able to pay rent, or my one boy hasn't been able to move in because of this pandemic. You know,
Mhm.
so I mean, rents might go down, which would suck because we waited a while for our property values to go up. Um, and these creatives might really get pushed out and live in smaller markets and telecommute and do their job that way. You know,
Mhm.
so yeah, like we all got to figure out a way to work differently on this online space, and whoever masters that will win, man, and keep moving forward until really there's a vaccine, man.
Mhm. I would agree. So, well, man, thank you, bro, for real, for taking the time. I know you're busy and just with everything, so we appreciate you taking the time to chop it up with us.
I appreciate you guys having me, man, and for doing this podcast. It's definitely informational and it's a good outlet for people. And if anybody want to follow me or reach out, it's DJ Reyes at Instagram or DJ Reyes at Gmail. Please don't flood me. I'll probably just delete it. Uh, so,
Don't send them your music either, bro.
if you're approaching somebody that you want to submit your music to, I get it. You're gonna rah and send it, but build a meaningful relationship. Especially with music gatekeepers and decision makers. Like, yeah, we get tons of music thrown our way all the time. Like, and build something. Talk about some normal shit, man, and then segue into your music.
That's the best advice. That is the best advice right there. More
Bro.
people need to know that. Take note.
I have a bunch of DMs I haven't checked yet because they're all fucking bullshit music things. And if somebody just hit me up on the humble and said, "Yo, what's up? Let's build." I want to get your opinion on some things, what I could do better. Yeah, that's a softer approach than fucking saying, "Yo, check me out. I have this, and this." We get that enough in our lives, man. We're always competing for fucking attention. Yeah.
For sure, bro. Well, once again, man, thank you so much. We're gonna this is actually, it's gonna be on iTunes and Spotify as well on Monday.
Yeah.
So we'll have a link and Instagram stuff we'll push out for you, and obviously I'll get all that stuff to you, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, bro, I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Just to clarify, man, this is a weight vest. I'm not going to war with this shit, but
Oh, look, I don't know what New York is like, bro. Like I didn't know if it was like I Am Legend out there and you got to be prepared and shit, like,
hey man, you always got to be ready, man. But use this time, properly. I mean, use this time wisely, man. I've been working out and just trying to lose this baby fat, bro. So I'm wearing what I lost. I'm wearing what I lost, man.
Well, all right, man. I appreciate you, bro, for real.
Sure.
All right, peace, homie.
Thanks, man.
Okay, hell yeah! Shout out dope. To the homie Reyes.
I learned a lot. I hope you guys learned a lot. Hope you enjoyed that episode with, yeah, homie. That was great. I'm glad you could come in.
You said what now?
I'm glad you could come in and do that. Thanks for setting
that
up.
Of course, bro.
Episode up on Monday, y'all. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, yes. Thanks for listening.
DJ's Corner Podcast, Spotify, Apple, Google, Instagram.
Do it.
All of it.
Do it.